let's start with this, everyone. Do we think Jess, the prize, White, is going into the villa? Because this video has just gone up on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you want to look a bit different, you want to look fresh?
Yeah. I just want to be...
do you know how long you're going away for?
I don't know yet.
You don't know?
It depends.
Now, obviously, in that video, nothing is explicitly said about going into the villa and Love Island All-Stars, but apparently the man doing her hair is the guy who does the hair for most of the women on Love Island, and she's talking about going somewhere, and blah, blah, blah. So unless it's clickbait, and what she actually means is she's going to Milton Keynes for a night out, it looks like she might be entering the villa, which would definitely cause friction, as I'm sure you can recall that Jess and Harriet did not get on. So that'd be interesting to see. Aside from that, not quite sure what Jess would do there in such little time, because bear in mind, the show is over, I think, by the 17th. So I guess she can come in, cause a bit of mayhem, and then leave. I mean, certainly her first attempt at Love Island was amusing, if unsuccessful. But she was amusing, let's be honest. She was very high-minded, and she did certainly put people in their place. So it wouldn't not be entertaining. I just can't work out whether this is actually real or clickbait. One thing that isn't clickbait is KAZ. KAZ has gone onto TikTok to tell everyone about Luca, and to basically tell us that Luca fancies Sammy, and that he was talking about Sammy while she was there and how much he fancied her. And it was KAZ who was the friend who told Sammy that Luca fancied her. Because remember, Sammy said that to Luca the other night. She said, oh, a friend of mine said that you fancied me. That was KAZ, guys. So Luca has clearly been keeping his eyes on Sammy for quite a while. We knew this, but now we've had it confirmed by someone else. So that would suggest to me that even though he likes Grace, it may all tumble down for Sammy.
Did you notice when Sammy walked into the villa and all the boys were like laughing and pointing at Luca and just basically like, ha, you're fucked? It's because Luca has not stopped talking about Sammy. Like, we know that Luca fancies Sammy. So that is why he is being... Do you notice how he's a little bit off? Like, he's not really talking. Like, he's trying to, in his head, navigate how he's going to go about this situation because he knows that he has been on Sammy for a while, okay? Do you remember in last night's episode when Luca said to Sammy, oh, I also heard from a friend that you fancy me too, okay? Just saying, when I was in a friendship couple with Luca, I may have or may not have relayed the information that Sammy fancied him. Sammy was on my retreat in Thailand, and basically she told me that she's always fancied Luca. So me being the good pal that I was, trying to get his hopes up and make sure that he wasn't like sad and miserable, I told him that, look, hopefully she comes in because I know that she would go for you. And of course, this really packed him up. That's why the boys have reacted this way, because he has mentioned so many times that he's on her. So I think I would really like for him to come out of his shell. I'm not saying that he should fumble Grace. I'm just saying that you can't like lock off potential connections that you have been wanted for a while, like not even on the show, like since before the show, just because you're in a happy couple. That's just my opinion. I'm allowed to have it. Don't kill me. Don't shoot me.
And finally, a little update about tonight's episode, because apparently they're going to be playing Snog, Marry, Pie. But it's going to happen in the evening, not during the day. This is what the press are calling a major twist, that it's not in the day, it's in the evening. I wouldn't call that a major twist. In fact, I wouldn't even call that a twist. I'd just call that the passing of time. But the thing that I find a bit weird is, don't they deserve a little break? I mean, we've just had Spin the Bottle. That was, you know, entertaining television, but perhaps psychologically and mentally not great for them. And now we're going straight from that to Snog, Marry, Pie, which seems like it's just going to cause even more problems, especially when it comes to Harriet and Ronnie and Luca and Grace. But I'm sure other couples will have problems too. It's one of those, I have to say, again, it's an amusing game to watch, but it's one of those games where I just think there is no good way out of it for anyone. Because sometimes people get offended that you said you didn't want to marry them. Sometimes they get offended that you didn't want to snog them. And they always get offended when you pie them. So I just, hey, do they need to play this so soon after what happened yesterday? I mean, clearly the producers have decided yes. The producers are clearly doing everything they can to keep us watching and to keep the wheels turning. My concern is that you don't want to do overkill. Yes, it's definitely better than last year's season, which, as I said, suffered from being boring. But let's not go too far into fifth gear to the point where everyone is exhausted and they all want to break out of the villa and run down to the nearest beach and swim to the UK. Anyway, what do you think? Is Jess going in, right? Do you think Luca will definitely stick with Sammy now the public have coupled them together? And are you looking forward to Snog, Marry, Pie? I will bid you farewell and see you all later. 9 o'clock. Be there. Dressed in your finery, please.